Welcome to a new episode of our podcast series AI Proof. Here we talk about the future.
Okay, hello. Today's topic is pedagogical approaches for teaching AI to young people. Our guest is Ralitsa Dobreva. So now you can say some words about you to our guests. From our short conversation before, I understood that you like the topic about psychology, teaching. So what you're going to tell to our listeners?
Thanks, Nevena. Thanks first for inviting me here. It's really great to be with you and to discuss this topic, which is very close to my heart. So if I have to say the broad thing about myself, I'm super interested really in psychology and neuroscience. It's what really gives me a lot of energy. I love reading on the topic and researching. And I usually work with teams and organizations. I work on higher scale. And now in the last years, my focus is on helping organizations adapt to the transformation around AI. But I also do a lot of soft skills training and workshops. When a team has a problem, then I investigate what is the problem. I do some questioning, some workshop, and in the end, what we do is together we find a solution. I'm not the person who gives directly the solution, but I'm more of a coach who asks questions, shares experience, of course. I may give some ideas, but usually I'm more of a person who guides. And as I said, I have a very strong interest in teaching and also in how kids of today would adapt to what comes in the future. And I have some plans to make an academy for helping kids to adapt. Yeah.
If I can also work there, you can always call me.
Yeah, I'll have
but
it in
I don't
mind.
joke, seriously.
Okay, I will have in mind. I'll be very happy because for sure I will need at some point of time people with who I can collaborate. So yeah, that's more or less most about myself.
Okay, so why, in your opinion, is AI education becoming important for young people today?
Okay, it's a really big topic, and I think AI is getting into everything. It's really being part of today, and it will be even more pervasive in the future. I remember some times ago, I was astonished of how small kids, were able to click on phones. Yeah, and I remembered when I was a small kid, I couldn't do that. I think it would be the same with the AI. It's already getting the same. So AI is everywhere, and it will be shaping our future. It will be shaping how we study, how we work, and what we do. So it's good for the kids to have a clear understanding first of what it is, and then about the moral aspects of it. And also we need to help kids to bring this awareness, how AI can help, but also how it can harm. And to be aware that we cannot trust AI blindly, we need to be critical about what it is. And also we need to be very careful of what we share with the AI. And we need to be very careful that sometimes we can read something, but this something can be manipulative, and we have to have that in mind. And additionally, it's good to help students and kids be ready for the future by developing their adaptability. Because I think in the future, being adaptable, being curious would be very, very, very important. So for me, these are the skills that we need to introduce in our schooling system or in our education system.
So what do you think is the right time to put AI subjects at school? Because we know that there are schools where the kids learn computer development. I don't know exactly how to translate it in English, because at my time I started to learn computers at fifth grade, which was totally perfect for me, but I feel like an alien around my classmates, because I played game on computer with my best friend for first time, but both of us in one computer, you can imagine, and we are 11 years old, and everyone was like, this is nothing new, why they are so amazed. So
if I can do it, I would do it now. And I would start by just bringing the awareness. It's not like teaching the technical part, maybe we can explain what it is and how it serves. But first, I would make even the first graders, even the kids in the kindergarten, be aware of what is AI, how it serves, how it can help us, how we can partner with it, but also what are the negative sides of using the AI, and how if we use it too much, then at some point our brain could lose its cognitive capacity. So I will start by just bringing that awareness.
By now, but at what age, for example? 7 years old, 10 years old, 5?
6, 7 is, I think for me is, yeah.
It's totally okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Can,
And we are not talking that the kids are going to stay like 1 hour, 2 hours. No, we are talking about 10 to 20 minutes, something for introduction in this system, because it's also not good for the eyes, for the brain, for the thinking, we know that there are some effects.
Yeah, exactly. And also what I imagine, I think it's already introduced at some places, not in Bulgaria, I think, but I would recommend using some special tutor that is like modified for the needs of the kid. And it's like with, it's modified so that the kids have like a coaching partner, a partner that could ask questions and could answer in a way that is appropriate for the age. And I can give you an example with my son. He's 9 now, and he's super curious about chemistry and biology. And I bought him a lot of encyclopedias. We have a microscope. We have some other stuff. But I also encourage him to ask ChatGPT about the newest research because he's also interested in longevity. And I encourage him to ask ChatGPT, what are the newest research in that area, and also to ask ChatGPT to explain it as it's a kid of 9 years. So I think it's a good approach. But I observe that. I don't leave it like unregulated.
Yes. So what mistakes do adults often make when talking to young people about AI then?
Okay. I think from what I've heard, some of the adults either present AI as a Terminator who is going to kill us and take our jobs. I have
like
a
the
friend.
bad character in 21st century is coming.
Yeah, I have a friend and he says, I'm very kind to the AI because when Terminator comes, I don't want to come and kill me, something like that.
Him, please.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Exactly that. And that is one side. And the other side is introducing AI like a superhero who can do everything, who can be used for everything. And it is the other side. Because the truth is somewhere in the middle. We can utilize AI, we can partner with AI, but it's not a superhero for sure. It has a lot of information, but we have to be careful about that. And for sure, it's not like the bad villain who is coming to take our jobs and kill us.
Or even if this character comes at some point of view, it will come a lot of more characters after him, which are in all the other colors of the rainbow and plus more. So anyway, we have a lot of opinions nowadays, and everyone is maybe a little bit more confident enough to share it. I don't know if this is true or not, but this is at least my point of view.
Yeah, but maybe something to add about a parent. I would say the best thing is to really, again, I would say this word a lot, bring the awareness, explain to the kids there is such thing. It can be very useful, not for writing all your homeworks, but for learning.
Not to make us lazy in general.
Yeah, because maybe, the brain is like a giant forest. And in the brain, we have these neural pathways. And these neural pathways develop if we practice a skill.
Yes.
And if we repeat it, and if we delegate everything to the AI, then our brain would get loose and we would lose our muscle in the brain.
And it will count on ChatGPT, make me the daily routine program. What I want for breakfast.
Yeah, so it's good to explain that to the kids.
And also to the end, at what time I need to go home, when I can go out for dinner with someone this week.
I think there are people who delegate everything to ChatGPT and ask ChatGPT for everything.
The examples I'm giving are based on true story with my colleagues at university work stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
The youngsters I present now. Otherwise, I am almost 25. I'm not from the youngsters. I mean, which are 2010 plus, because we know that they're anyway, they're 10 years younger than us. So anyway, in one moment, even if today they say that there is not that much difference, because I'm impressed of them, if I need to be fair. They're very fast in their ideas of making their ideas come true, which appraise and applauses for them.
Yeah.
So we're slowly going to our first main topic of the conversation, which is connected with learning approaches, our both favorite topic, I think. So what teaching methods work best for AI topics?
Yeah. Okay. I'm fan, but not only for AI, for everything of games, learning through experience. So if you ask me how I would teach an adult or a kid, I would all the time prefer to use a role play, to use a role,
course.
or to use a discussion and reflection in order to present a concept. So if we are talking about AI, it's the same, explaining the concepts, the AI, with case studies or with a story, or putting the kids in a game so that they can experience, because again, our brain remembers what it experienced, what it has emotions attached to. If we just share some information about AI, most of it would go from one ear and would go out to the other. So I would say it's really this experimentational approach, this learning through touching with curiosity, and I think for me it's the best way. And again, reflection, because we can give a kid a project to make with AI, but then it's good to reflect. Okay, while doing that project, have you asked yourself, does AI give me no, did AI give me the right answers, or maybe it was hallucinating? So we need to ask also to provoke thinking in the kids.
This sounds for me a little bit more like this famous democratical studying, which I personally met when I was 15 years old, which means that it was 2016. 10 years ago or something like this. Is it the same? Did I understood right? Because, for example, we are in Sofia,
Yeah.
obviously. So this is a place where there are more than 2,000 students. Schools, not
Yeah.
students, schools. So most of them are private.
Yeah.
You are talking mainly about this type of schools, or exactly the opposite, the normal schools with possibilities for students to travel, for example, with Erasmus Plus, or to get involved with club activities, otherwise the regular classes. Did I understood you right, or I'm close but not exactly?
Okay, I would say it can be implemented in any school that is open for such approach. Now we have schools that are very practical and very strict to what is the MON program. So they just will follow the lectures. But if they are a bit more open, they can use also role playing and games and experimentational learning for the AI. So it stands for all the schools. I would say this approach could be implemented everywhere. The question is, are schools open to...
are the teacher and
are
the
the
staff
teachers,
ready
yes.
for these
Yeah.
changes?
Again, I can give the example. I was at my son's school, and I made a presentation. I used AI, of course. I explained some things about the brain, and the teacher was super receptive to that approach. So what I used was games. I used stories to explain the kids, and the teacher was super, super receptive to that approach. And this is absolutely ordinary school. So maybe it depends on the teacher, on the director.
Yeah, that's why I said the staff, the idea of the staff and how they collaborate as a team, as you said also. Because if there are some problems between the members of one team, we all know, no matter what is the profession, it's not
doesn't
okay.
work. Yeah, but if I have to explain it more formal terms, then okay, maybe there could be an agenda of what would be taught at school, what would be the subjects that are necessary for an AI class. But again, I would include 100% games, experiments, role role plays and reflection after that. For me, it's a must.
So in conclusion, a lot of games presented differently with AI or role play, as you said, or maybe participating of the kids in this class or the adults in the group. If it's like a business organization, as you said, or something.
Yeah, and something important that I observe, I'm not sure if it's the correct time, but now I observe some kids that are better using AI than their teachers. So maybe we can start from
Then
from
there are
that.
brains, if we need to be fair, in one moment, because why I need to think when ChatGPT can think, or Gemini, or you will say more options.
Yeah.
I don't have enough time to use that much AI just because I have. My profession is connected with the structure,
Yeah.
and I already know the structure perfectly, so I just stop faster than asking ChatGPT, finding his mistakes. I don't want to sound like someone who don't use it. Oh no, I use it sometimes, of course, with 1-2 jobs and university and everything. Today we use it. It's normal, but still. To have enough time to do everything, we need to have this structure. Yeah, for example, as you said, I use AI exactly to structure my schedule for the day.
Yeah.
For example, when I typed it in the Word file or Excel table. Yeah. So how can non-formal education help young people understand AI? If you can give also concrete methods which you like and you use.
Okay, I would say that non-formal education, at least for my understanding, it's exactly the education which concentrates more on curiosity,
Yes.
more on asking and not having all the answers all the time. So how it can help? For sure, it will develop more curiosity because it would encourage kids, young people to research more, to test more, to try more, and again to be really involved in what they are doing. It won't give them recipes what to do or what not to do. It would give them the chance to experiment, which for me is the maybe super important skill and super important thing for adapting and using AI in the correct way. And again, reflection, because I think it's also part of the non-formal education. When you do something, then you ask the question.
And you need to close the process in the end.
Yeah. You ask what went well, what didn't went well, what I'll do differently next time. And that could help you to better adapt to the tools or to whatever you need.
So how can games, discussions, or role play, as you said, help young people understand AI? You can give correct, concrete methods, for example. As we said, reflection. For example, for role play, what game you are making?
Okay, for example, let's say we have sort of a conflict. It's I'm imagining that in the moment.
Forum theater.
Yeah. For example, the kids are doing that. And
let's explain what is forum theater also for the guests, because we both obviously know, but they don't.
Okay, so we have like a case study that would be played.
Conflict idea, which is around the group, and we started to make a drama theater.
Okay, drama. Yeah.
I've been leading classes of forum theater, but short workshops like 40 minutes. That's why I have a common idea about this.
Yeah, the idea is to have people play the thing that is going on, and the other could observe and could take their takeaways. We can like summarize it in that way. So what we can do, kids could use AI to, like, for example, to help with the preparation of the
meal.
Of what they say.
Sentences?
Of the sentences that they...
Grammarly?
Yeah, they can use it. They can use it for ideas, what they can do, and they can play it afterwards. Also, they can use it for a sparring partner to ask what are some other ideas, what are some things that they are missing in the conversations. Like kind of debates, and also like kind of third person watching from a side. like another perspective.
Yeah, you are
Yeah.
both friends which have an argument, and you are asked the
Yeah.
third wheel.
Yeah.
Can you please be our helper and solve the problem?
Yeah.
You will be our psychologist for this specific moment.
Yeah, and you can ask and use that information, but then play it out with the class and explain, and of course be critical to what the AI tells you.
Yeah,
So
but
it's
yeah, that's why you have more that's why you have more opinions, like 20 plus, because you make it in the whole class with
Yeah.
all the students. One is the facilitator, which lead the process, and in the best case, you have a best friend next to you who is also facilitator and can switch when you have block.
Yeah. And all the time, it's good to have somebody who asks questions. I think it's very important.
Or
Asking
make
and reflecting.
photos, or
Yeah.
taking interviews, or draping the data, writing everything.
Yeah,
Assistant
absolutely.
for everything.
Yeah. So it's a way. Another thing is to ask the kids themselves to research what game they can play, for example,
Who
in
can do
order to
this?
in order to learn a
Exactly.
concept. If they are learning what they are learning, I'm wondering what my kid is learning now. Let's say they have to learn something about a historical event. So you can, as a teacher, as a tutor, give them the task to use ChatGPT and make a game. It can be again a role playing or another game, and present it, produce it, reproduce it in front of the class, or involve the class in that. So in that way, I think kids could learn to use it, but of course, all the time, make them aware that sometimes AI won't give will give hallucinations. So they have to be very careful about that, and they have to be they have to learn to ask the right questions, and actually they need to learn to write these prompts in the right way, that they would receive the best results. So when you ask the kids to do that, you explain that, then you see what happens, and then you ask the questions. Okay, what went well? Do you think you asked the right questions? Did the AI give you the right answers? How that helped you? And then they reflect and iterate.
So, how do you keep young people engaged without overwhelming them?
Okay, again, both for young people and for adults, I think it's all the time asking and involving, engaging them in the conversation. So if I have to
If they don't
teach,
want to participate.
okay, I'll start by that.
I'm in this age where I don't want to do anything. I'm 16 years old. The
Okay.
wife is just.
yeah, what
I don't have direction.
Yeah, what
I'm
I
lost.
usually do.
I want just to see my friends be outside, my parents be somewhere, not asking me anything except
Yeah.
if I want to say something to them.
Okay, I haven't
What
worked
you're
with
doing
so
in
many,
these cases.
but yeah, I will try to adapt what I'm usually doing with the teams and groups, and I will use it. So the first thing when I get into a group, and let's say it's a group I don't know. So the first thing is to see who sits next to who is looking at their phones, or who is looking through the window, who is doing something else, and then to make like a small diagnostic of the room. And then usually there are some kids that are perceptive, that want to listen and want to learn. Usually it's not from 30
But
kids.
they're shy, yeah.
Okay, but they are shy. And I try to first make a connection with the more receptive one. And then I what I do is create this psychological safe environment. I would do a joke most of the time. I do a joke so that people could relax, could laugh, because once they start laughing and joking, then I know I want them and they will listen to me. So that's my recipe, I would say. First, notice who sits where, what is their mood as a whole, and then make a joke so that I can make a connection with the people. It's how I work in most of my workshops, with kids or with adults, and for me it works 100%. So then I start with that, and then I start asking questions, and usually the kids that are more open would answer first. If they don't, usually I would do a disclaimer. Okay, this class or this workshop or this seminar is an interactive one. Put your names on a note and be ready, be prepared to answer my questions. It won't be like pushing you too much, but in order to have the best value of this event, of this
Somebody
class,
needs to participate.
yeah, I need your participation. And then if nobody says nothing, if they are all silent, I would start pushing them, but really mildly. I don't want to get into their personal space. I don't want to push them too much, but I would do it like very, very slightly in a very tender way. And at some point they would like break out and they would start participating. And once a person starts, then the others see that and they start
And they
also.
become a little bit more braver than
Yeah,
before.
yeah. So that's my like magic for all the seminars and all the workshops that I do. And usually it works like 100%. I don't remember a case where I have been with somebody, with a class or with a company that it didn't work. And ask questions. The important thing is to engage them after that.
Yes, I know exactly what you are talking about,
Yeah.
because the only difference is that I also usually the people look at me and they're like, why she's so happy? Why this looks so cringy, shaming? This is not something which is acceptable that much. But in the end, or after even 40 minutes, and they're like, I don't have to say that, but I want again to do something like this.
Yeah.
I've seen this process from when I'm at school, because even in 10th grade, I was partly teaching 4th grade. So
Yeah.
the same. Kids learn kids, or youngsters learn kids.
Yeah.
Or in your case, like in your case, you learn everyone.
Yeah, yeah. If we have time, I can add something.
Of
Can
course, we have.
Okay, so we have in our brains like mirror neurons. What they do, we connect with the people and we usually mirror their
Not
attitude.
with everyone.
Not with everyone. Yeah, usually it can
And
be the
it's
leader
not
of
necessary.
the team. Yeah, but if somebody in front of the team, in front of the class is happy, and if this person like gets connected with the others, they would start syncing with their mood and with their behavior. So if you are teaching kids, if you are teaching adults, then when you are happy, there is a great chance that you would infect them with your happiness. And it works.
That's
also.
true.
Yeah.
So let's go to a little bit more short topic, different than the previous one, which is more connected to the ethics and critical thinking.
Okay.
So how do we teach young people to question AI instead of blindly trusting it?
Yeah.
Give me some examples
Okay.
from your experience.
Yeah. Again, it's when they have a task, then we need to reflect on that task and ask, okay, are you sure what the AI gave you is the correct one? Have you checked the resources? Because you can ask the AI, okay, give me information, for example, for Vasilevsky, but then you can ask the AI, from where did you take that information? Give me the sources of that information, and then you can double check it. So it's again with reflection. When the kids have a task, we need to remind them that it's good to check what they have received.
We all know that in internet in general there is a lot of information. We can find both totally different and in the same time the same kind of information for the same person. And we start this critical thinking, but in one moment it's a little bit too much, or yes. So how can we discuss AI ethics in a practical and reliable way?
We discuss with kids, you mean, or with
Everyone. You can say for the different groups, for example, we can split the kids from, for example, 7-10 years at school, before this preschool. We can put youngsters, which is between 15 and 30, and adults, let's say 3 categories, because...
First, I think it's a topic that first we need to explain very well, and to, if possible, to showcase what it means to be ethical or to be thinking critically. I think it was the second part of the question. So we need to directly put that and to be very honest. What might be the result if we behave in a certain way or if we don't behave in a certain way? So absolutely honesty here. Blunt discussion and putting all these topics on the tables from the very beginning, and really encouraging and repeating that. I think it's also about repeating, because kids, especially if they are a bit
Preschool
yeah.
and till fourth grade.
We need to repeat so that they could remember it.
And also, let's remind, as you alone said, that they use the internet in general and electronic devices less than each other age. Because for them, this is the healthy thing. Okay, should AI education include topics like misinformation and manipulation?
Yeah,
My
for
favorite question, if I need
Yeah.
to be fair.
Absolutely. I'm absolutely sure that it needs. It's like essential. Maybe it's one of the first thing. Again, it's more important to learn the kids that there is a possibility for manipulation or misinformation before teaching them any technical stuff or anything else. So I would say it's one of the first topics that needs to be addressed if we are teaching in some way or showing about AI. So kids need to be aware, and they need to grow this self-discipline to be very mindful of what they read, what they do, how
And
they
not
ask,
that
what they
empathy.
share. And what?
And not that empathy even, because this
Yeah.
is a screen.
Yeah,
And this
absolutely.
can be only pictures or AI. Even my grandma is like, is this real? And this is just your phone. This is a picture. Why you believe this? Or she's watching a fantasy on the TV and she's...
Yeah.
And I'm... Grandma, no, this is...
Not real.
And the lecture starts 2 hours later.
We need to
And
learn.
she
our
again
kids.
can't understand it because she's the type of... She's 70 plus, I
Yeah.
mean.
Very familiar. My grandma is the same, but and
We
yeah,
love
she
them,
believes. Yeah, she believes in absolutely fatalistic things that are generated with AI. Or I'm even wondering how she can believe to some of them, but she does. And for our kids, it's super important to learn them to be critical about what they see, and all the time to double check and to ask themselves, okay, is it actually true? Because this like critical, it's like. It's even not critical, it's more
Existential.
yeah, just asking and like
And counting, as you said, on yourself.
Yeah,
Because as we discuss it now, even your grandma or mother or friend can be more emotional to only device, or someone who is not the person who shows it.
yeah,
And especially for preschool, for school kids under 18, under 20. But let's be fair, in each age will feel disgusting if something bad happen. These are feelings and emotions. There's no matter what age are you, they change.
yeah.
So how do we encourage critical thinking instead of fear or hype?
Instead of hero or what?
Or hyping some topic.
Okay, so I will
Make
concentrate
it
on the
out
first.
loud more than it's necessary.
Yeah.
I accept it.
Yeah.
I understand it like this.
Okay, so critical thinking, how do we develop it? It's
Yes.
super important to learn ourselves, our grandmas, our kids, to ask questions.
Grandparents, uncles,
Everybody, just
friends.
asking questions, and don't accept anything that you see for truth. And you can do it by practice, because we can say, okay, be critical, don't believe. But if we don't do it, if we don't practice it, we won't, and there isn't any way that we can learn our brains to do it. The only way is to practice, and every time we see something, we ask ourselves the question, is it true? What is the chance that it's generated and it absolute?
Maybe in this moment, I think it will be nice to explain a little bit more about neuroscience, one of the topics you are expert in. Maybe here you can put some exercises or explain a little bit more to our guests about this, because after this we are going to inclusion and accessibility. And I think that when we put thinking, critical thinking, also anyway, putting a little bit emotions and sense in your job, not only in front of the screen, in your life in general, ethics, neuroscience, what this new science says about.
I will start with a broader picture. First of all, our brain loves to be safe, and our brain hates uncertainty. So usually our brain would decide for something that is familiar and it may be painful, but it is easy for it, then to do an extra mile and to stretch itself. So in order to stretch, we need to push ourselves. So if we are used to accepting anything for granted and don't be critical, then we need to teach our brain to do it. And how we teach it? By creating these neural pathways I mentioned. And in the beginning, it's difficult. It means that we have resistance. Our brain would try to make 100 excuses not to do it. And because it looks like lazy, but it is not lazy. And we need to push. And it will be hard, and it will become easier with the time. And in the end, we will learn about that. But it is very important to know, first, our brain prefers to be on the safe side, then it prefers to get easy pathways and get easy decisions.
We need to push it to do things.
Do
this.
Absolutely, we need to challenge it.
Do this, you're going to eat.
Yeah.
Do this,
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
going out.
And something else for the brain that is important, and maybe it's also connected to the topic, is that sometimes when we have partial information, our brain would create a story to fill in that information.
Especially if you are under 7.
Yeah. So it's very important to consider that sometimes we need to ask, is my brain trying to trick me because it's easy for it? Is it really the situation? Is it really the story? That's one thing. And the other thing is that our brain put some filters. Sometimes we see the world because of a filter, because of experience that we had in the past. And it may not be the truth. And if somebody knows about our filters, somebody can use AI or the content that is reaching us in order to manipulate us. So we have to be careful about that. And all the time ask, is it really the truth? Am I seeing the whole picture? Is my brain trying to protect me here by just showing me a bit of information and not accepting the whole picture?
So how do we make AI education accessible to disadvantaged youth?
Okay, I would say it depends a lot, but with the AI, I think it's not that difficult, because especially if we talk about kids who can have access to computers, then they can use it. They can use the vocal functions of the AI. So it should be adapted to the different cases that we have. But again, it's something that if we start implementing, I think it won't be difficult to
And
to
also
use.
with ages, maybe we can say also that AI is connected with picture,
Yeah.
with touching, as you said, which are two senses, plus hearing, 3 senses.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can't eat the computer,
Yeah.
but we can watch videos
Yeah.
for cooking, which again, this is kind of motivation, which let's go to the kitchen. It's so easy. He use only 2-3 things, and this give us a little bit, again, as you said, brain hack, brain gym to do something which is not only to lay and be tired.
Yeah. And I think it can help a lot in such cases.
I'm totally agree. So what barriers prevent some young people from engaging with AI topics?
I'm not quite sure, to be honest, if they're really some like it should be the question why they don't want to engage. This is like a practical tool. And again, if we consider the situation when we have the AI as topic, as subject at schools, then they should be
Or a
able
library.
to have it. Yeah, but now I'm wondering, what is the chance that somebody doesn't want to use AI for some reason? And I'm sure there are people, actually I
Of
know
course.
people who has like, they're super skeptical about AI. They don't want to use it because they don't trust it. And it's also absolutely okay. And the question is, do we need to push these people or do these young kids? I would say no. Let's
Balance.
I think AI can be used. We can partner with it. It can be practical tools, but it's not something that is obligatory to use. And I think in the future, most of us and most professions would need to use AI. We need to
It's
adapt
already
to that.
like that.
Yeah. So but for those who say, okay, I don't want to use it, and jobs are changing, and I think in order to prepare our kids for the future jobs, we need
It's
to
better to
encourage
start
them.
earlier,
Yeah.
again, as we said, with
With the boundaries.
yes, the circle becomes bigger and bigger with
Yeah.
the time, as the age,
Yeah.
of course, with responsibilities. Can AI education empower young people, society, or professionally?
Can them
Empower.
them more like socially or professionally? Yeah, for sure. As I said, the jobs of tomorrow would be different of what they are now, and I think AI could help kids. Actually, I think kids need to adapt to AI, to adapt to what is coming, and we need to help them again to be adaptable, to be aware, to be curious, so that they can be better prepared for the future. And AI can give kids a lot of information, a lot of tools that could help them in that adaptation easily. So for sure, I think AI can help kids to adapt, to empower them for what is coming.
Okay, we are slowly going to our end with the last section of today's conversation, which is connected with the practical examples, the most
Okay.
important. So, my first here is what practical activities or exercises would you recommend? I asked you before, but it was more like practical if you can submit like a reflection.
Yeah, okay.
Top three, for example, or if you
Okay.
need less, more.
So what I would do if I need to learn to, let's say, to present the topic to youngsters,
To teach them,
to
yes.
teach them. So first of all, I would start with a general awareness, and I would make it with a discussion. So I would introduce the main concepts, and then I would bring the topics like, okay, what happens if? What about the hallucinations of the AI? What about the critical thinking? And I would make it in discussions so that they have this broad picture of the AI. That would be the first thing, to introduce the topic. Then I would give them, like I said, a role play or a case study so that they could touch it for themselves.
Okay, thank you so much for this lovely conversation. I'm pretty sure
Thanks.
that we'll continue after we
Yeah,
stop
I think so.
the video. Yeah, but now let's say goodbye for today to our audience. This was Ralitsa Dobreva, and our topic was connected with pedagogical approaches for teaching AI to young people. Thank you
very
so much.
Thank you.